Hi, so this is day one of the reading challenge. Please donate if you're able to. If not, I understand, but stay tuned to follow along. I am in the middle of Pack Gamble by Hannah Haze. It is Pack Gamble Part 1. So with that title, I know for sure it's going to be at least a duology, like probably she did at the beginning of the series, because this is book 4 in a series. Book 1 and book 2 in the series were a duology. Book 3 was a standalone, and then this, because it says part 1, I'm assuming is the beginning of a duology as well. I'm at 60% in. I got this novel as an ARC read from the author, and I am really liking it. However, Pack Gamble is about a Omega and an Alpha who, for the most part, from what we can tell, they get really drunk while being in Vegas for different reasons and meet at a roulette table. And they find out the next morning that they don't have any recollection of meeting one another, but they are now married and bonded. And they for sure know that they're bonded. She has a bite mark on her neck and they can talk to each other in their heads. But they don't really verify about the marriage situation, so I'm curious if that's going to find out something else at some point. But the whole thing about how they both don't remember what happened is a little sketchy. But for them being together, the relationship is instantaneous. It's a very instant love situation, and these two really do seem to be made for one another. So I'm happy with how and what I'm reading so far, but it's set up as a duology. So you know something's going to happen. You know that it's going to have a cliffhanger probably. And those are not always things that I like. So, I mean, the first 60% of this book has been awesome. I'm loving it. I'm hoping it doesn't crash and burn for the third act issue, but the issue right now is that what I've already told you was in the description, so I mean, I didn't give anything away. Another thing in the description is that the Alpha in question already had a pack of, he's one of 5 alphas within the pack, and what the Omega and him agree to is that they would go back to his pack, and because the bond makes it so they can't part without hurting each other for the first 7 days or so. And their plan was to have her stay with them for that period of time, and then they would go their separate ways. Well, that isn't looking like how it's going to happen, because of how close that they've been getting within the past few days that they've been together. But the other alphas within the original alpha who's bonded's pack didn't want to have an Omega in their lives. I'm not sure why. We haven't really delved into that at all, but they didn't want to have an Omega, and they were not actively looking. They have no nest. They have nothing like that. And the higher up, or the lead alpha, really dislikes that this situation has landed within their pack. So at 60% in, we already have 2 other of the alphas to side and start a sort of relationship with the Omega as well. And again, the bonded pair are hooked at the hips. They really like and are happy with the situation now, but we'll see what happens. I'm curious how this is going to go. Again, I'm really nervous that something bad and that something I won't like will happen soon. So I'm hoping it won't. And like I said, it's 312 pages is what it says. It says I'm on page 185. I might finish it today. I'm not sure. It depends on what happens around here, but we'll see how it goes. If you're able to help out and support, please do so. Thank you for being here, and let me know what you're reading. So, I just finished Pat Gamble Part 1. I knew that because this was a Part 1, I was not going to like the ending. Truthfully, the ending itself was a soft blow, so it wasn't bad. But it was the 2 or 3 chapters that led up to the soft blow that made me mad. So I want to give this book a high rating because I did like the first 60% of the book. But truthfully, after I last talked with you and started finishing the last 40%, it did not go as I had hoped. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to say that in total, this book gets a 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. I want to give it a higher rating, but because it's just a Part 1, and no, it's not the reason that this is getting the rating it's getting, but because it is not... It had the stuff I didn't want to have happen. Like, I mean, Kent, which is the a-hole alpha in charge of the pack and such for the most part, he finally gets his way. But right before he gets his way, he actually starts to turn to be, oh, I might like her too situation. So it's like it had hope and then it took it away from you. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars. However, I will say, it did have a good ending, like a soft, like... a softball situation towards the end, so it wasn't as bad as it could be. But Avery's phrasing of how how her take on it was for what the guys do, definitely will make it interesting to see how, like, when they try to make up for this, if she will instantly be fine and then there'll be another 3rd act issue in the next book, or if it's going to be 50% of them trying to grovel to get back into her good graces and such. So, yeah, book 2 has to be really good to make up for this. Because if this was just a standalone read and then the 3rd act issue could have been quickly taken care of, I think it would have been a better book. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope that this is what was, like, book 2 is going to be awesome to make up for this. And it's not that the book 1 is bad. Book 1 is really good. Really good. I love all the characters, even Kent. Loved all the characters, loved the side characters, loved this whole situation. The issue is miscommunication. Nobody communicated the nitty-gritty bitty stuff. So, no backstories were given about anything, and they've only known each other really for 10 days, so they were still learning each other. So, yeah. Really good. Can't wait to read book 2, and I do recommend it to you. Check it out if you're interested. It comes out on February 13th of 2024. So, yeah. And today's February 1st. Anywho, that's it for me. I'm gonna find another book before I go to bed. It's late, and that's it. Thank you for being here. Please donate if you can. What are you reading now?